Malam ini sekali lagi saya berada di hadapan saudara-saudari sekalian untuk memaklumkan situasi semasa ancaman wabak COVID-19 yang telah pun menimbulkan kebimbangan bukan sahaja di Malaysia, malahan di seluruh dunia. Dan untuk itu kerajaan memutuskan untuk melaksanakan Perintah Kawalan Pergerakan mulai 18 Mac 2020 iaitu lusa hingga 31 Mac 2020 di seluruh negara.
On March 11, 2020, World Health Organization (WHO) has declared COVID-19 a pandemic as the cases were reported in over 210 countries including Malaysia with risk of further global spread.
We have therefore made the assessment that COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
On 25th January 2020, the first case of COVID-19 was detected in Malaysia, and following that, the number of cases and death toll gradually increased. Due to that, government had decided to contain the disease by introducing restrictive movement orders (RMO) starting from March 2020 until now. The primary aim is to allow frontliner to be able to battle the pandemic and indirectly help flatten the curve.
Langkah-langkah tegas perlu terus diambil untuk membendung wabak ini daripada terus merebak. Kerana itulah kerajaan kita melaksanakan Perintah Kawalan Pergerakan yang mula berkuat kuasa pada hari ini.
23 anggota kesihatan Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia yang dikesan positif COVID.
We are a nation at war with invisible forces. The situation we are now facing is unprecedented in history. So my dear brothers and sisters, and the children of this beloved country, we are not perfect, but we are doing the best we can to pull through this crisis together.
The frontline healthcare workers have been under great pressure since then. With the fact of being at the higher risk of infected, this may affect them psychologically and in turn may affect their social relationship.
Kak, just call yourself a frontliner without making sacrifice.
Masa rehat a bit lag.
The stressed element was there.
Dah tak ada, memang tak boleh balik.
Study done on psychological impact of COVID-19 towards frontline healthcare workers in China show that more than 50% were distressed and having symptoms of depression. Some even experience anxiety and insomnia. Knowing the possible impact of such outbreak towards frontline healthcare workers, it is a concern of our study to identify the psychosocial burden of frontline healthcare workers in Malaysia. Therefore, we are Year 4 medical student from UNIMAS present to you a research on psychosocial impact of COVID-19 towards frontline healthcare workers. It is a qualitative research through online interview conducted among frontline healthcare workers in Malaysia.
It is concluded that majority frontline healthcare workers are affected psychologically by this COVID-19 outbreak.
To be honest, it is a very huge responsibility. Okay, you can't just call yourself a frontliner without making sacrifices. So there are a lot of sacrifices that you have to make. Most of it people cannot see. Okay, most of it people see like, oh my god, like, you know, you guys are being paid to become a frontliner. So do your job. The sacrifices that we make to do our jobs, are we being paid for that? The emotional sacrifice, the psychological sacrifice. Ni belum lagi masuk, you know, with regards to timetable, you know, your time with your family, all being put away. Those are all sacrificed and those are not paid. You know, those are not paid for.
Stress sikit lah ada. Tapi good thing about my staff all are working together with me lah. So I rasa ada kurang sikit burden.
Stres tu ada je stres. Biasalah kerja. Tapi dia lebih teruk stres tu sebab kita tak dapat balik kampung. Sebab saya ni walaupun saya duduk jauh dengan family kan, dekat 5 jam jugalah nak balik kampung. Biasanya saya akan balik 2 bulan sekali atau sebulan sekali. Masa hari tu, macam COVID hari tu, saya tak balik dekat 6 bulan. So dia macam stres kerja campur dengan stres tak dapat balik kampung, campur dengan stres kita duduk rumah seorang-seorang sewa.
Waktu awal first outbreak start increasing dekat Sarawak dulu, to be honest memang ada a bit stress lah, because at that time memang masa rehat a bit lag, and aside from that benda yang affect our physical, emotion, and also kita pun mental juga lah. Let's say macam case terlalu banyak and our workload become more burden juga lah.
3 bulan sampai bulan Jun tu kan kita orang punya cuti diberlakukan. So nak minta cuti memang tak dapat lah. Kerja sampai malam. So memang ada stress lah.
Okay, to be honest, the stressed element was there. Okay, as in first of all, my working shift was different for the 2 weeks. Okay, it's no more working hours from 8 to 5. It was a rotation shift. There was AM and PM shift during my time. When there is a change of shift happens, you know, a lot of changes could happen as well. First of all, your sleep. Okay. Second, appetite could be changes. So these drastic changes which happened for 2 weeks was one of the stress element for me.
The COVID-19 pandemic do give an impact towards some of the frontline healthcare workers' social relationship with their family members and colleagues.
Even my family themselves, my mother was deeply affected lah, emotionally lah pasal COVID ni, because you imagine she being your mom kan, your mom who has aged, yang ada diseases kan, some more thinking alamak daughter ni everyday day in day out, seeing potential COVID patients kan, ada memang hardcore betul-betul positif COVID pun ada. Jadi you know, kena buat, I am one of the doctors yang buat swab juga. So parents mana yang tak stress tau kan, sebab diorang takut ni kan diorang pula jangkit juga kan. So macam tu lah.
So far Alhamdulillah semua memahami lah benda tu. So far dia pun okay, very supportive.
Sebab yelah family kan jauh, kita asyik jaga family orang lain. So kita boleh contact dengan video call lah, pesan dekat dia orang. Masa tu kan graf tengah naik lagi kan, yang COVID tu memang dah memang tak boleh balik. Cuma yelah kita asyik pesan dekat orang-orang yang kita tak kenal. So bila buat video call je, macam almost tiap hari lah video call. Dia orang pun akan tanya kerja macam mana, okey kata. So dia tak terkesan sangat lah. Tak adalah macam murung je duduk seorang tu.
Because myself and my husband, we are in a long distance relationship, whereby I actually haven't seen my husband for 6 months.
Oh.
So you see Shikin, I got married with my husband early February this year. And then my husband goes offshore for his job with Schlumberger in Saudi. Unfortunately, COVID struck and the borders were closed and there were no choppers to sort of import these people.
It was fun to be honest, it was fun because you managed to see colleagues from other departments. Because when I was in Teto, you have to work in your department from 8 to 5. So there is a very lack of time to meet friends from other departments. So when you are in this camp, you are meeting a lot of new people from other departments. Some of them are my friends. So there's a chance to meet new members and spend time with my old friends. So my relationship with my other colleagues even better.
Okay, masa dengan kawan tu okay je. Tapi kan masa-masa macam nak cuti tak dapat. Jadi macam stres lah sikit. Kena kerja lebih kena kerja macam kerja extra lah sikit.
Salah faham kat tempat kerja lah kot. Dia macam banyak kali tinggal kerja. So orang lain kena cover macam tu lah. Dan ada tegur, bila tegur tu jadi gaduh.
Kami personally saya dah mengalami sebab bila kami keluar kami pakai baju biasa. But for my staff yang pergi kat luar, dia orang hendaknya pakai uniform. Bila pakai uniform, orang akan tengok semacam dah. As if healthcare provider tu adalah pembawa COVID. Ya, masa mula-mula kes lah. Another thing adalah in terms of home visit lah. Because in polyclinic, we have to do home visit. When people have stigma with healthcare provider, they don't want to give cooperation. They don't want minors to go to their house. That one stigma lah, public to my staff.
Kalau kau tempat Laskar, dia orang tak nak terima anak frontliner.
So far yang saya pernah perasan ialah masa my neighbor lah, anak dia tengah main dekat luar, saya balik terus kena halau masuk rumah.
It is well described that each frontline healthcare workers have their own ways of coping with stress and each have their own reasons that motivate them to keep working as a frontliner.
How I overcome my stress adalah I do exercise. Make sure that every day I do exercise at least 30 minutes. Actually before COVID, I dah start sikit-sikit lah. Tapi selepas COVID, I force myself to do exercise 30 minutes every day. I si buat kat luar, I buat dalam rumah aja.
Sebab kita orang macam, sebab ada kawan-kawan sekali, so orang macam, wah bila stres tu kan, cerita-cerita kat kawan betul lah hilang macam tu. Tu balik pula cerita pula kat family video call, habislah soal tu. Habislah apa masalah yang kata.
To me, since amanah yang kita diberikan, so sedar apa-apa juga lah to me yang kami perlu macam menyesal lah to do with, and I also like to offer help to our community and also
Kita punya ni berjaya lah macam berubah daripada PKPD, lepas tu slow-slow jadi PKPB, bersyarat dan baru pemulihan. So kat situ nampak lah kita punya effort ni ada hasil lah.
Motivate family lah sebab orang kan nak sulung, so kita kena fikir, kita kena cari duit macam nak tolong family, adik-adik sekolah lagi, kita nak ada rumah sendiri, kita nak ada aset sendiri.
This doctor job ni is sort of an amanah lah to you, like a responsibility lah. You nak title doktor tu kan, you nak pegang title, so you deliver lah, you buat lah kerja, you bagilah balik dekat society.
Ada seorang patient for ultrasound. So the declaration memang no. So just masa tu memang tak banyak protective. Then few days back they call say these patients positive. Then ask you to go for swab, quarantine kan sendiri. Then one of my squad become false positive. But if anything like 37, 38, nearing 40 pun they consider positive. So that time saya punya result I think they say 37.5. So they consider as positive. So ditangkap masuk ward. And the next day they did another swab and buat serology test juga yang blood test punya. Then that one come back as negative. In the end decide to quarantine dekat rumah lah.
First ada kontak pesakit jemaah tabligh time tu. Serif Taling, dia datang klinik, I clerk dia masa dekat triage lah. Dia cakap dia tak ada kontak, dengan siapa, tak ada pergi mana lah. Tapi dia ada batuk, ada demam. Lepas tu masa jumpa doktor dia mengaku dia ni jemaah tabligh. Then dia mengaku dia jemaah tabligh, lepas tu dah ada kontak lah dengan orang yang positif. So dia ambil swab. Dua hari lepas tu result dia keluar, result dia positif. So orang yang clerk dia, daripada orang yang daftar dia, clerk dia dan doktor clerk dia, semua kena quarantine dan kena ambil swab lah. Okay, second, patient tu tak mengaku dia bawa balik daripada Indon macam tu. Dia ada demam batuk lah. Dia tak mengaku juga. Tapi bila ada swab, bila track balik orang inspektor kesihatan track balik, dia ada jumpa siapa, so saya yang collect, so kena juga lah, kena quarantine. Lepas tu yang ketiga, dia refer seorang pesakit ni polis, dia suspek dengki, tapi dah last dia positif dan dia pun meninggal lah. So kita orang memang ramai time tu kena quarantine, kena ambil swab lah.
I think my experience yang dengan patient waktu zaman COVID ni, yang paling challenging tu waktu tu I dekat zon merah lah. Macam biasalah semalam buat I zon merah. Mak patient tu dia collapse and then dia CPR lah, okay. So usually bila CPR kan, bila you rasa dah dalam 15 minit tu you dah tahu dah ni tak ke mana lah. 10 minit you CPR you know already, ni tak lama dah, okay. So you need to gather the family members around kan. But because kalau without MCO it's very easy lah, family members tu boleh datang, boleh baca selawat at the ears, faham? Boleh last words, boleh cium, but during MCO period cannot. So family members dia merata-rata anak-anak dia semua menangis-nangis kan, because you can't see your mother, you cannot come to the hospital to see your mother during your mother's at your mother's deathbed. How would you feel? Sedih tak? Your mother ni tengah CPR ni tak lama lagi ni, and you boleh datang tapi you tak boleh datang. Why? MCO. You see? So the emotional impact on the family members tu kan, on pesakit sendiri sangat kuat.
Majority frontline healthcare workers were affected psychologically by this pandemic outbreak. Some were stressed, having anxiety and having difficulty to sleep due to increase in workload, strict preventive measures such as wearing proper and full PPE, worried if they carry the virus home and cause the loved one to be infected, and many more. For social aspects, some are having a better relationship with their family members and colleagues, while the others admitted that this pandemic and restrictive movement orders have affected their social relationship, especially with their family. Even though struggling with fatigue and fears, they have their own ways to tackle and face these problems. COVID-19 pandemic has caused great distress not just in Malaysia, but also throughout the world, and right now, the frontliners are having a battlefield in doing their duty for the country. Hence, it is our responsibility to help them to win this war together by practicing 3W, wash hand frequently, wear face mask at all time, and warn the others as a reminder. And also avoid 3C, crowded places, confined spaces, and also close conversations.
We are still not winning this war yet. So kami harap semua community semua still follow the SOP lah, like wearing mask, hand hygiene, and also physical distancing lah. For frontliner pun kami just tumpang sama-sama tabah je lah dalam handling COVID patient and also PUI semua tu. And let's just hope number of cases reduce by time, so that at least we have enough rest.
Nak pesan kita jangan putus asa untuk bagi nasihat dekat orang. Walaupun orang tu tak semua orang boleh terima nasihat kita, tapi kita jangan putus asa.
Kena jaga apa yang tadi dipersalin. Indonesia tu jaga sesi cuci tangan. Jangan putus asa. Jangan give up lah.
Kita nak tahu kita nak teruskan hidup walaupun kita berhadapan dengan benda yang bahaya. Kita kena jaga diri kita. We as a frontliner must know that this is our responsibility. Apa-apa pun rasanya memang kita boleh nak berputus asa pada benda tu. Kalau kita frontliner dah putus asa, macam yang cakap tadi, me and staff, I already raise up the white flag. My staff pun akan rasa lemah juga.
Achievement of the graph, all of us must hold the hand together to win this war. I would say that.
On behalf of my research mate, I would like to express our deepest gratitude and appreciation to all the frontliners for their bravery, dedications, and sacrifices in the battle against COVID-19. You are already part of history as nation's heroes. Thank you very much.